Okay, this is the stick swim. You pin your fist up against the side, up against your hip, so whichever side you're going to go to. So go here and then bring it on around. There you go. Abs are tight, so you don't want to arch your back. You want to just really work on squeezing your shoulder blades back. There you go. Keep your abs locked in. You're going to do 10 circles each way. All right, getting back to the overhead squat. So this one, your hands are up, locked out, all the way to the ends of the stick. There you go. Now what's important, you can go ahead and face the camera a little bit more here. Your feet are going to be a little wider, toes slightly out. Squat rules apply. So that means your butt goes behind your heel. Your knees can go to your toes, but not past them. So we don't want to come off your heels. You want to actually be able to wiggle your toes at the bottom. Lock your elbows out and squat down. Eyes up. So stick's going to be on the ground. These are just hand step overs. Over and back. So lead with each hand 10 times. Everything's locked in. You can step forward just a little bit more. So your shoulders are close to over this stick. There you go. Keep your hips nice and level. Next exercise is a reverse fly. I wish I would have had another stick too, because I want to show you this one. You're standing on one leg to start. Well, let's go ahead and go on both legs to start. Wiggle your toes, your hips are back. You're going to hold the stick like so, and it just hangs right below your shoulders. You come up and right at the top. You want it in a straight line. So if we drew a straight line, it goes from your hips to your fingertips. We don't want to be here. We don't want to be like this. Down and right up. Good grip on the stick, and your eyes are going to be focusing forward. I always say look underneath, look like through the bottom of your eyebrows. So what we want to do is get you right there. See this side, how that kind of wants to walk off. Press the stick up against your forearm. Just feel that? It automatically became a slightly different exercise, didn't it? This gets locked in a little bit more when you do that. Let your hands come right back down. But they're going to kind of swoop up. So you're going to make an arc with the hand. There's just not, it's not a rotation in the shoulder. Good. And your eyes are going to be focused up. There you go. So on this one, you do 15 when you're standing on both feet. We'll do 10 standing on one foot. So now let's go ahead and try and do it on one foot. Next one is a single leg stiff dead. You want 10 toes facing forward, both knees even. What's most important and paramount on this is that the stick stays up against your body. Okay? It doesn't drift out, because you're going to go all the way down. Right to the bow of your shoe. You can even let your head drop. But one time I say that, this is the only time you get to look at your feet. Stand up nice and tall, your butt's engaged. Nice and tall, eyes up, right back down. Keep that leg. It's a stiff leg, it's not a straight leg. There you go. Fingers. Good. Hold on to the stick, don't let it get, there you go. Now at that point, the bottom point is really using your abs. Again, most flexibility comes from, can the muscles create the stretch as opposed to, you know, pulling back and yanking down. Next exercise is out, out, in, in. So it's basically the same exercise that you did with the step overs, but now you're going to be here, stepping out and back. And I always say you can alternate that way, or just go ahead and do all 10 on one side and then switch over. The next exercise is the split squat. Super, super naggy on this one. So hopefully what we can see is that my head is touching, the middle of my back is touching the stick. There's no space here, and then it's touching my tailbone. So I even hold it this way so that I don't have that wanting to push it off. The hand that's up is the leg that's back. So we're getting a good stretch all the way through here, and then you're just coming down, weight on the front foot. Now what happens is as I get lower and flexibility starts becoming an issue, the tendency is to want this to happen. We need to keep and maintain this space as best as you can, at least some space in those 3 spots touching, and then you extend right up over that front foot. All right, now the fun one, another fun one. They're all fun. This is flex, press, and extend. And basically, you're here, you flex, press to over your head, not in front of your head. It's here. So the minute you do that, you'll start feeling where that works. And then you come right back down. Just pop up. You can do this with a towel, doesn't matter. I always like having the stick, because either you're pulling apart or you're pushing together. We want to just keep it nice and straight and work on keeping those hands up and extended, eyes up. So you got one foot in front, the other foot or other knee right up against. You're going to come through here and up. Try not to wobble as much as possible. Whoops. And I forgot the most important part of the exercise. So as I come up, I'm going to stand up, back down, shift. And I always like doing these poorly every once in a while so that people can see that even I do them wrong or have a hard time. It's a small notch because we want it to come off easily. If you ding it, it's going to come out of whack. But this is, you can see where the crossover, this is a hip flexor range of motion. And then stand up, good. Right back down. And you use the sides of that cross stick to make sure that you're not swinging your knees around. That's really good. Last exercise of the circuit is 1 jump 5 times. And we do 1 jump 5 times because you really only get 1 opportunity at an explosive movement. Set your feet every time. Now, we want to keep the hands as horizontal as possible, even when you drop down. And what it's doing is it's really trying to enhance and reinforce the hinge at the hips. Because I can go this way, and then usually what ends up happening is the stick pops apart. So by having your shoulders back and the stick back here, and really it should be loose. It shouldn't even be super tight up against there. Explode up, stick your landing. And you're always in that position. Get yourself reset, down, boom. Squat rules apply because it's a squat jump. Back on your heels and then all the way up through your toes. Boom. Feet a little bit closer. They can start out closer, land a little wider. Couple of core exercises. Bird dogs. You come up, extend out. Good, 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 good. That was a great correction. Say it. All right, next one. We're going to have you back down on the floor again. Sorry. This is a dead bug, a form of a dead bug. Head down, knees are at 90 degrees as best as you can. Now I'm pushing the stick up against my knees, or the upper part of my leg, and I'm pulling my knees back. So there's kind of a war going on. So I'm pushing nice and tight. And then I'm going to let one side come down with the same pressure, hold it there, and then the heel touches down and comes back up. All the hinging comes right at the hip again. All right, then the next one, you're going to be back over here. You don't need the stick for this. And then it's just donkey kicks. Coming up, and we don't want to open up the hips this way. We want to keep them as level as possible. So when you get to the top, you want to make sure that you kind of pull your knee in and make sure you're just hinging at the hips. Squeezing up and really using your glutes to make it work. Let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and move on. The next one is a fire hydrant. For obvious reasons, you're going to come out. What we want to make sure that when that knee comes off the ground, I feel extra pressure on that same side hand because we don't want to shift away. We almost want to lean into it as much as you can. You want your knee as high as your foot. And you want everything nice and level. You don't want to breaststroke it. You don't want to have all these weird things going on. But it just comes right out to the side. You lean right into it. I always say do all of them consecutively on the same side because it gets a little difficult to keep everything locked in when you're